The last years for Turkey have been quite rough, especially with the rising inflation problems within and the struggling post-Rona situation of the worldwide markets. Turkey's inflation as of 2022 has surpassed 70%, weakening the economy and the purchasing power of the average Turkish citizen when it comes to food and especially energy. The average person earns about 5,000 lira per month, which equates to just about $270, which many times is not enough to cover the basic costs of living. In addition, energy problems due to the ongoing Russo-Ukraine War and the heavily import-reliant nation of Turkey are challenging its economic growth, slowing down production and sector activity. Turkey imports 99% of its gas and 93% of its petroleum, the majority of which comes directly from Russia, Iran, and Azerbaijan. Geopolitics are not in favor of Turkey as well. Turkey and Greece currently have an ongoing dispute about the sovereignty of some of the Aegean islands and Mediterranean sea borders, which in turn makes the cooperation of the two nations when it comes to importing and exporting quite limited. Syria, Iraq, Cyprus, as well as Armenia have similar situations, which in turn create more economic blockades. Prime Minister Erdogan and the Turkish government, in an attempt to solve these problems, have been playing a two-sided game with the US, European Union and Russia at the same time, which so far has not paid them any remarkable dividends and in turn has painted them as the untrustworthy black sheep of NATO. On the flip side though, even if things seem rough for the nation, economic growth is holding strong, with GDP projections for the upcoming years surpassing the 3% mark on a year-to-year basis. So taking a step back, we can pinpoint the main problems Turkey is facing at the moment. The most important ones are the following: inflation, high cost of living, low production, deficits, and poor geopolitical relations. So how can Turkey overcome these hurdles? Is it even possible? And can a solid financial future be ensured for the nation? Starting from inflation, the Turkish government doesn't seem to be paying much attention, keeping the interest rates for borrowing at low levels and even cutting them, something that any financial analyst would say is the exact opposite of what needs to be done in order to combat the problem of rampant inflation. This seems to be an attempt of prioritizing growth over financial stability, which many times in history has proven to be insufficient, and a great example to look at is the neighboring country of Greece during the financial crisis of 2008. Which prioritized growth instead of stability, even though the EU and other nations were supporting and advising. So for now, it seems that the only way that Turkey has a chance to overcome the rapid rise of prices is to change its whole attitude towards it and maybe take a good look into the dangers of not following and learning from the history of economics and finance. Many times with increasing inflation rates we see unemployment drop, but in this situation Turkey seems to be struggling with rates being as high as 13% for multiple years in a row. As we know, unemployment, especially in a country that has 80 million residents, creates poor production conditions, which in turn worsen the output of the nation, creating a bigger reliance on other stronger economies. The effects of this can immediately be seen in Turkish GDP that has been taking a nosedive since 2013 from $957 billion to $720 billion, totaling a 25% decrease. Lower production means bigger deficits for the nation that it has to cover through borrowing and other methods. The percentage of debt to GDP ratio for Turkey, although, is pretty good, sitting at around 40%. So if things go south, Turkey does have the ability to increase its borrowing to save itself from a possible further financial collapse. Geopolitics, on the other hand, are a much more sticky situation. Turkey not choosing sides on the global financial and literal war between the West and Ukraine on the one side and Russia on the other hasn't made them one of the most trustworthy business partners, meaning that the nation might be facing possible sanctions down the road, blockading Turkey's ability to do business in Europe and possibly the United States as well as Canada. Turkey in 2021 alone exported to Europe a walloping $90 billion worth of goods and services, and if that were to stop even on a small scale, it would be a huge blow to its economy. Even though the dangers are high, Erdogan's Justice and Development Party doesn't seem to be backing down from its position on the current world conflicts. Turkey's government wants to see their nation as independent from others when it comes to production and self-reliance. But unfortunately, it seems that this is only being said and not actually being done. Every day, the amount of Turks that want to see a major change in their country seems to be rising, whilst the current ruling of Erdogan's is losing steam, with other political parties catching up, such as the Republican People's Party that supports a social democratic government, which many say might even worsen the situation further due to their Euroscepticism and its defensive stance against the westernization of the Turkish society. All in all, though, the Turks seem to be progressing slowly but surely, making a push towards green energy and less dependence from Russia. In 2019, Turkey had the 5th highest level of new renewable capacity additions in Europe and the 15th highest in the world. The International Energy Agency report notes that Turkey can achieve even stronger growth in renewable, especially solar, wind and geothermal, given its considerable resource endowment and its geographical placement. This change is positive, but it is nowhere near as fast in order to ensure an energy-independent Turkey in the near future. Other measures have been taken into account in order to combat the energy reliance from Russia through creating pipelines starting from Azerbaijan, stretching through Turkey, and then spreading all over Europe, providing it with clean and cheap gas. Another proposed pipeline is the East Med gas pipeline, which is more heavily reliant on Greece when it comes to carrying the payload, but still, with some reforms, could provide Turkey with an alternative to expensive Russian energy. In conclusion, it seems that the country is facing some temporary problems, but when it comes to the long-term horizon, after the end of the current world conflicts, a few reforms in terms of the outlook towards the West and the EU might be a way to facilitate a stronger and more stable financial future for the beautiful nation of Turkey. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please let me know down below by leaving a like, sharing it with your friends and maybe even a comment on what I should cover next. You are free to dislike the video if you found it misleading and even correct me if something I shared with you was misinformation. Again, thank you for watching and see you again on the next video. Until then, have a great day.